Welcome to AGK's Vinyl Life. I'm your host, Anthony K. And on this week's episode, I'm going to be showing you my favorite top 15 reissues, live albums, and comp albums released in 2021 on vinyl from January 1st through April 30th. That's right. These are not new studio albums. That was covered in my last video. If you haven't seen that video, check out my last video. It was all about new studio releases for 2021. This one is all about reissues, remasters, live albums, compilation albums, all those sort of albums that were released from the beginning of the year through April 30th. And these are my top 15, my favorites, from what I've personally gotten. But before I get on with that, I have a couple channel announcements to do. First of all, a couple of wee channel announcements. Some new things happening with AGK's Vinyl Life. I've expanded my brand into the world of gaming, video gaming. I've opened a second channel now. It's entitled AGK's Gaming Streams. And some of you might have seen me online in the last couple of weeks streaming games on this channel. And I was basically just doing a test. I was seeing how it all worked, connecting, my PS4 to YouTube and how it streamed and so on and so forth, and what sort of audience I got, and if things were positive or not. And I was happy with what I got. So I decided, I've got a lot of spare time with the pandemic on my hand. I only do this channel, once a week or so. I do go on other streams occasionally, visit other streams, and I did run my own live stream every other Saturday afternoon, which is another announcement. But I decided, I'm a big gamer. People that know me outside of this channel know that besides, being a music lover and a pop art collector and so on, pop culture collector and so on and so forth, I'm a big gamer. I've been a gamer all my life from the mid-late 70s when the first Pong machine came out, right through all the different Nintendo consoles and PlayStation consoles and Sega consoles and handhelds and computer games, and I'm still now, and I'll game until my thumbs fall off. I game on all sorts of systems, mainly on the PS4 right now and on the Nintendo Switch are basically where I game. But I do spend a few hours a day gaming. It's a big passion of mine. It keeps the mind sharp. It keeps the fingers nimble. It definitely keeps your mind sharp. So I game a lot, and I enjoy it, and I like to play competitive gaming and casual gaming, RPGs and so on and so forth, as well as first-person shooters. I ran the full gamut of gaming. So I decided to do some gaming streaming because gaming streams are very popular. In fact, I think gaming streams are the single most watched thing on YouTube. So gaming streams are huge, so I'm jumping in the gaming streaming thing. So when you don't find me here on AGK's Vinyl Life, you can find me over at AGK's Gaming Streams. And there will be a link in the comments down below to my gaming channel if you guys want to sub me up. If any of you guys out there are gamers and want to watch some gameplay, I'll be streaming games. I'll be putting what I call epic gaming moments, where I'll be playing through a section of the game that I think is just absolutely wonderful, and highlighting sections of the game, doing walkthroughs of games, all that sort of jazz that the wonderful game streamers do, and just having fun over there gaming. And so if any folks out there that watch my channel are interested in gaming, sub me up over on AGK's Gaming Streams, and you can watch me playing up. And I'll probably be gaming at some point pretty much every day on that channel. So I hope you enjoy that. Hope I see some of you guys from my channel over there. Sub me up, and of course I'll be replying to comments and talking to people while I game over on the stream there. So I hope you all enjoy that. Something different, just expanding the AGK universe. and that's that. The other announcement is I run a bi-weekly music chat live stream every Saturday afternoon, somewhere between 4 and 5 is the normal start time for about 3 or 4 hours. I would run a music chat live stream where people from the VC are welcome to come up on can and we talk music. I've had the prog nerd there with her father, Mark Anthony K, of course, of Project Gemini, Jorgen S, Ron Beaudry. So many people, I can't even name them all, have come up on my streams in the past. But I'm going to be cutting back on that. I think I'm only going to do one a month. There's been some other issues in the vinyl community in the past week regarding me. Unfortunately, when you're a YouTube influencer and creator, a content creator, you will get trolls. And unfortunately, the vinyl community has a handful of trolls, small individuals that absolutely love to hate people. And for some reason, I'm one of the chosen hated people, and I've been trolled on this channel and on my streams and in other places. And there was an absolutely vile video put up about me about a week ago, where the person had recorded one of my episodes, one of my videos, had recorded and had changed the soundtrack and put vile commentary in. And of course, I went to great lengths with YouTube, first of all, for harassment and abuse. A lot of people supported me and reported the video, and I finally eventually started a copyright claim against the video because he did use my material on his channel. And that finally, I think, got the video down. I got an email from YouTube saying that they're going to be watching this content provider very closely as his content goes against community guidelines and terms of service. So they're going to be keeping an eye on him. And I know who you are. YouTube provided me quite a bit of information about the person, private information about the person in question. I'm not going to say the person's name on the channel because I'm not going to glorify him and give him, you know, give him a shout out, certainly. But unfortunately, that's part of being a YouTube content creator. You are going to have some absolute vile individuals visit your channels, and that's just part of YouTube. So I've decided to drop my streaming from 2 bi-weekly episodes to once a month. I will do a live stream on my channel on the in that same time slot, Saturday afternoon, between 4 or 5, but it'll only be once a month. Leave a comment down below if you want me to continue with the bi-weekly live streams. Let me know in the comments below. If my watchers, followers want to see me do the bi-weekly live music chat streams, let me know in the comments below, and I'll consider keeping the bi-weekly format. Otherwise, I'm going to be changing it. That's everything for the channel announcements. I'll continue to make my weekly or so episodes of AGK's Vinyl Life, like I'm doing today. And that's it for all the channel news and things that are going on. Let's get on with the records. So, some of you have probably maybe fast forwarded. Records are coming up right now. So these are the top 15 comps, live albums, reissues, remasters, reissues for 2021, January through the end of the April. And first up, this one dropped right at the beginning of January. And this is a comp album. And this is Songs from the Kitchen Disco by Sophie Ellis Bextor. Some great pop, dance pop. She's from the UK, great pop and dance pop. And she put this album together as kind of a thing to do with the quarantine. She ran apparently her own kitchen disco during the quarantine with her family, and decided to release this kitchen disco comp, which goes through her career. It includes a number of remixes of some of her favorite songs, like Groove Jet. There's Groove Jet 2020 version on here, and of course Murder on the Dance Floor. There are 20 tracks, 4 sides of music. It is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful album. Beautiful artwork, and it comes on this beautiful sort of baby powder blue vinyl. A really fun spin, some great pop and dance pop. Sophie Ellis Bextor, Songs from the Kitchen Disco. That's the only comp I think I've got here, the only compilation album in my top 15. The next is a soundtrack album. So yeah, I got a couple soundtrack albums in this top 15. And these are reissue, remaster, and reissues. The first up is a soundtrack that I absolutely love. And it is the soundtrack to the anime series Cowboy Bebop. The anime series Cowboy Bebop. This is the soundtrack to it. This is a 2 LP version of the soundtrack, expanded with additional music, and remastered and reissued. Cowboy Bebop, the soundtrack. And I absolutely love this. This is a jazz album. Anybody out there that likes great jazz, This is performed by a band called the Seatbelts from Japan. They are a 24-piece jazz band, and they are spectacular. And this soundtrack could be one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Beautiful artwork on the inner sleeves, and each disc is a different color. This one is that color. I don't even remember what the colors are called. I'm not going to worry about that. It's kind of a pinky, purpley marble. And then the second disc, and here's the other inside jacket. The second disc is on a kind of a purple marble. Fantastic pressing, fantastic sounding, great mix remastering, and just wonderful jazz. You know, I put this down more as a jazz album than a soundtrack album. Absolutely spectacular. Cowboy Bebop soundtrack to the TV series. Remaster reissue from January of this year. Next up are a couple albums from an artist who has released most of her library on vinyl in the last maybe 4 months. There's a lot of albums in her library that have never been on vinyl, so this was the first time any of these were released on vinyl. Her early library was on vinyl, but come mid-90s, she's an artist from the 90s. So her mid-90s right through to 2000s and 2010s material was never on vinyl before. So a lot of this stuff was the first time on vinyl. She released a couple albums in like November and a couple in December, and then a couple more in January. And these are the two from January that she released, which I really love. And it is Mariah Carey, the sensational Mariah Carey. And this is Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel. This is one of the two that dropped in January. And I love the cover art. I love this inside cover where she recreated the butterfly. This was her butterfly album, and then she reposed for the picture for this album. So sort of did a 10 years later sort of idea with this, where there was the original, and then here's a new version of that picture. The same with her iconic, debut album, and then she reposed for the photo. So kind of cool there. A great spin, Mariah Carey, Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel. But this album blew me away. I had never heard this album before. I know some of Mariah's work, and I've been collecting all these ones up. But this album absolutely blew me away. And this is her second last album from, I believe, 2014 or 15 or so. 2014. This is Me, I Am Mariah. And I think this is my favorite Mariah Carey album. I absolutely love this album. Me, I Am Mariah by Mariah Carey. Beautiful pressing, beautiful sound quality. Love the songs on it. Spectacular photography. I gotta admit, this is one of the most beautifully photographed albums. Gorgeous picture over here, but this cover, my gosh, what an absolutely beautiful photo. Definitely, I think one of the most beautiful photos of Mariah. Absolutely, just like a goddess there. The colors, what an incredible album cover. Fantastic music. Really love this spin. Mariah Carey, Me, I Am Mariah. Reissue, first time on vinyl, remaster, and reissued for the first time on vinyl. Next up is an album by an artist from Yes, Mr. Rick Wakeman. And I know some people don't like these recordings that Rick Wakeman did. I'm a big fan of them. He originally released these recordings on a CD that was called Rick Wakeman's Greatest Hits. And on that Rick Wakeman's Greatest Hits CD, which I do have, he took one disc. It was a 2 CD set. The second CD was all Rick Wakeman's greatest hits from like his solo things like Arthur and Six Wives of Henry VIII and Journey to the Center, Journey to the Center of the Earth and all those sort of things. And the first disc was songs from Yes that he had performed when he was with Yes. Songs by Yes reimagined by Rick and played instrumental versions of those songs. And it was a 2 CD set, and even the cover work was done by Roger Dean. And it has never been released on vinyl, but they have finally taken some of that material, because this is a little bit different again. This collection of songs contains a lot of the material that was on that CD set, and I've been dying to have that CD set on vinyl. So I'm glad they finally released all the Yes music from that 2 CD set on vinyl. It's called Rick Wakeman, Two Sides of Yes. That's right. Rick Wakeman, Two Sides of Yes. And it is a double LP featuring Rick Wakeman doing instrumental renditions. Some of them are strictly like piano renditions, and others have a full band. But I love this stuff. And I know some people don't like this era of Rick Wakeman, but I really, really love this stuff. I really love this album. You know, you got Your Move, Wondrous Stories, Long Distance Runaround, Siberian Chartreux, Heart of the Sunrise, Close to the Edge, Roundabout, Starship Trooper, and Going for the One. Fabulous spin. I love this spin. And it came on a gorgeous white vinyl. Rick Wakeman, Two Sides of Yes, which I think this particular thing did come out in a CD at one point too. So this is a remaster reissue. And this one dropped at the end of February. Also in February, or this was the beginning of February. Beginning of February. I think it was like February 1st. Also remastered and reissued for the first time ever since the 1970s. An album I have waited for probably 40 some odd years to be remastered and reissued. It has never been repressed or re-released on vinyl from its original 1975, 76, 77 period when it was first released. It has never been reissued since then on vinyl. Finally, one I've been waiting for, my favorite band, Golden Earring, and their wonderful Switch album, which was the follow-up to Moontan. I love this album. I put this album in my top 5 Golden Earring studio albums of all time. Intro plus minus a Serdio, Love is a Rodeo, The Switch, Kill Me Ce Soir, Tons of Time, Daddy's Gonna Save My Soul, Troubles and Hassles, The Lonesome DJ. This album is a 10 out of 10. Spectacular, fantastic. I love this album, love the album artwork. And they did such a good job. This is one of these music on vinyl limited numbered editions, and they only printed 1,500 copies of this. Once again, Music on Vinyl has done a spectacular job, and Red Bullet Productions have done a fantastic job of remastering and repressing this album. And the album artwork is all intact, the original album artwork, and it's got a gorgeous textured cover. Absolutely love it. And the vinyl is a gorgeous blue, transparent blue vinyl. Golden Earring Switch. Fantastic album. I highly recommend everybody grab one of those while they are still available, if they are still available. Next up is an album I pre-ordered from the artist website, and this is the first time this album it's been completely remastered and reissued on vinyl for the first time. It only originally in 2006 came out on CD. This is the first time on vinyl, all remastered and reissued by the artist herself. She remastered it herself and reissued it and had it done. And it's Wendy James from Transvision Vamp and her Racine 2 album. Racine 2, a fantastic spin. It's in the punk alternative rock vein. Absolutely great spin. This is the inner liner, and she did it on a picture disc. And trust me, folks, this picture disc sounds gorgeous. Wendy is very picky about putting her music out, and when she puts her music out, she takes great care in her pressings. And trust me, this picture disc sounds as good as any other disc. Sounds spectacular. Wendy James, Racine 2 by Wendy James. Highly recommend it. What a fabulous spin. You can order it directly from Wendy James' website herself. An absolute wonderful album. Remastered and reissued for the first time on vinyl in February this year. Also from at the end of February this year is a reissue of Motorhead's Bomber. And one I didn't have in my collection. When I saw it and it was on for a super cheap price on Amazon, you can pick this up super cheap. It's just a reissue, limited edition, colored reissue of the classic Motorhead Bomber. And it came on a silver vinyl. Sort of a silvery, gray, marbly, sploochy, I don't know. And some of these, do they say the name of this one here? They call it a silver colored vinyl. Let's just say silver. Okay, so it's a silver, kind of silver vinyl thing. Bomber, Motorhead, reissue from late February this year. Next up is first time on vinyl ever from a company that I buy records from. Modern Harmonic are famous for releasing a lot of B-movie soundtracks and unusual albums. And this is the first time this has ever been released on album, though it was recorded back in the 60s. It's the soundtrack music from a B-film, exploitation B-film called Dracula, the dirty old man. That's right, Dracula, the dirty old man. Another modern harmonic pressing, and they're wonderfully, wonderfully, wonderfully pressed. One modern harmonic, I believe, is a subsidiary of Something Weird Video, which is owned, which is done by Sundazed Records and so on. They're all under that same umbrella. So this is Dracula, the Dirty Old Man, the soundtrack. And what is really great about this soundtrack is it's all funk and jazz. This one's on what they call a blood-colored vinyl. And it is absolutely fantastic funk. The movie may have been horrendous. And one thing I do like about modern harmonic and these B-movie soundtracks is they always throw in a DVD copy of the movie. And I watched this movie, and it's so bad it's good. It is absolutely horridly acted. It's so horridly acted that it's funny film. But the music is absolutely fantastic funk and jazz. Fantastic funk and jazz. Dracula, the Dirty Old Man. First time on vinyl since the late 60s. It was never released on vinyl even in the late 60s, so it's the first time on vinyl ever, but the music's from the late 60s. Next up is a reissue that dropped at the beginning of March. This one came out right at the 1st of March. And it is Sheila E., The Glamorous Life. Classic 80s album from Sheila E., The Glamorous Life. Of course, Sheila E. being a drummer for, I believe it was the Revolution, for Prince and the Revolution. Of course, Sheila E. worked with Prince. And this is The Glamorous Life, a classic 80s album. And this is a brand new reissue that came out on a gorgeous teal-colored vinyl. Gorgeous teal-colored vinyl. And for those that aren't in the know, one of the artists that appears on this album is called The Star. And The Star has appeared on a few other albums by people that were in his circle. And The Star is Prince. So Prince would go under the name The Star on other people's albums. So Prince, of course, adding to this album as well. The Glamorous Life, Sheila E. A fantastic spin. Nice to have a reissue of that one. Next up, the fifth and last in a series of albums I've been collecting for a year now. They've been releasing these albums. It's a series of 5 albums that have been released over the course of 10 months, 2 months apart each one. And the final 5th part came out this March. It's from one of my favorite film composers. It's Ennio Morricone. And this is the 5th installment of the Themes series. And this installment is called Passion. 2 record set, 180 gram vinyl, produced by Music on Vinyl, and they're at the movies side of their Music on Vinyl do have their reissues, and then they have their At the Movies series. So this one's from their At the Movies series, and they always do a wonderful job with their At the Movies series, and they always include them in these gorgeous heavy vinyl sleeves. I wish they would do all the MOV pressings in these heavy vinyl sleeves, but they only seem to do the At the Movies series in these gorgeous sleeves, these gorgeous pockets, heavy grade vinyl pockets. So this is the 5th and final installment of the Theme series that I've been collecting for a year now. And it's all passion music from various films. And just like all the other Ennio Morricone Themes albums, they are double LPs. And they give you the movie posters inside of what movies the songs are from. And they all come with a booklet that talks about the movies. And this particular one came on a purpley, kind of a purpley vinyl. So gorgeous passion, and it's even got a glitter. I don't know if you can catch it, but it's got a glitter cover. The final installment of the Ennio Morricone's Theme series, which is a comp. It's a comp, so I did have a second comp in my pile here, and this is a comp compilation from various movies, soundtracks of his passionate romantic kind of music from those films. Fantastic conclusion to that series. And last up for studio albums in my top 15, or studio albums, comp albums, all that sort of stuff, is the one that dropped in March. This dropped in March, arrived in the middle of March, and this is the Black Sabbath Heaven and Hell Remaster expanded remaster and reissue that dropped in the middle of March. It is a 2-record set with fantastic liner notes, really interesting liner notes, and beautifully remastered. Disc 1 is the original Heaven and Hell album. Disc 2 is bonus material featuring songs, featuring B-sides and live recordings of songs from the Heaven and Hell album. So you've got, B-sides. You've got Children of the Sea, Heaven and Hell, Lady Evil, a mono, a single edit, Children of the Sea live, Heaven and Hell live, Die Young live. So it's all lives and B-sides from the Heaven and Hell, bonus material on a second disc. A fantastic remaster. I've been looking for a copy of Heaven and Hell to add to my collection for a long, long time, and I'm so glad they remastered and reissued it, because this is probably tied for my favorite Black Sabbath album of all time. People who know me know that Sabotage is my favorite Black Sabbath album, but on any given day, I put this up beside Sabotage as my favorite Black Sabbath album of all time. Heaven and Hell, the remaster reissue that came out in March. And that's it for studio albums. And the last couple albums I have to show you here. First is a couple of fails. I'm going to show a couple of fails here. As far as I'm concerned, these are complete fails. Sometimes you get an album and you kind of sorry you bought them. These are fails, not in the material, but in the pressings. And so I'm kind of giving you people a warning. This is kind of a warning. And these two albums came out in early February for a very cheap price. And now I know why they were very cheap, because they're really cheaply produced. And the first one is Anthrax's Sound of Noise. Not happy with this. Not happy with this at all. My biggest complaint is the artwork is absolutely horrendous. It's all pixelated, really cheaply. It's obviously they printed the artwork from a CD booklet or something, and so when you blow up something that was originally very small and blow it up, of course the pixels expand. So the picture is very fuzzy. I don't find the pressings are very well done at all. They are very thin vinyl. This is like 120-gram vinyl. This one's on a white vinyl. It's like 120-gram vinyl. A little bit noisy. I think one of them even had a very slight warp in it. And not even lyric liner notes or credit sheets or anything. Just inserts. They didn't bother including the original liner notes or lyric sheets or anything. No information. This is it. This is all you get. So really, this is how not to remaster and these obviously weren't remastered. I don't think even the mastering. I don't think there is any mastering. This is probably transferred direct from CD transfer or something. Just really, really poorly done. The music, of course, is great, but vinyl-wise, I say stay away. I say stay away. Really, really poorly done. And of course, the second one I have to show, also that was dropped in February, was Stomp. That's right. Stomp 442, also from Anthrax. And I don't know if you can even see it, but it's pixelated. It's pixelated to hell. This picture is pixelated to hell. It's absolutely horrendous. And once again, look at this. Look at this horrid picture. It's not even clear. It's not even clear. Absolutely horrid picture. And these are from Megaforce Records. And once again, just inner sleeves. This one came on a blue vinyl. Once again, like 120-gram thin vinyl. A little bit, click and poppy and hollow sounding, no dynamic range. Really, really poor pressing quality. Poor vinyl. Terrible artwork. Such a shame that Anthrax chose to let these out on the street. So I say keep away. And last but not least are 3 live albums that dropped since January. The first one came out in January, and it is Dreamtheater, Distant Memories, live in London, which was a concert they did right before lockdown happened last year in the UK. And this is a gorgeous, and it's heavy, this is a gorgeous 4-record set of that concert. This is like 2.5, almost 3 hours of music, this performance. And inside it's like a slipcase. And inside the slipcase are 2 separate LPs, 2 separate gatefold LPs of the concert. 2 separate gatefold LPs of the concert on black wax. And a fantastic, absolutely spectacular performance by Dreamtheater. And what's lovely about this is, of course, it includes a 3 CD set. Somewhere hiding in here is a 3 CD set. As well as the vinyl, you get a 3 CD. Of course, you think I can find it? There is a booklet in here as well. A book. And somewhere in here there's some CDs. At any rate, they're in there somewhere. Is a complete 3D set of the music as well. And I love when they give you a CD instead of a download card. I use my download cards. I use all my download cards. But they're a pain. You know, you got to take the code, go on your laptop, your computer, put in the little download, put in the link to the website, go to the website. You know, probably have to enter an email and some information, then put in the download code. Then they give you a zip file with the MP3s in it, or the FLAC, or the you know, the AVI, whatever the format they have. Most of the time it's MP3 and FLAC. They give you those to download, and then you got to download that zip, unzip that zip, and then for me I got to stick it in iTunes, upload the folder into my iTunes program, which then has to upload to my phone so I can listen to these songs on my phone or in my car, stream them into my car from my phone. So it's a real pain. They did download cards. And so I always love when they give you an actual physical CD instead of a download card, because then I can just take that CD and throw it in my car and I'm done with it. So it comes with, that was 4 LP, 3 CD, wonderful, wonderful Dreamtheater live performance. I'll do this one next. Next up, which came out, this one came out at the middle of April. This one came at the middle of April. This is the only album I got in the middle of April. The only album I got in April. I'm on a very tight budget now, so my vinyl buying power is next to nothing now, as I've had some unfortunate expenses that I'm going to have to deal with, and so vinyl is getting the big chop. Won't be buying many records over the next year by the looks of things. But this came out from Optimal Media and Ear Music once again. And this is, yes, Symphonic Live, and this is a reissue, a numbered, a limited edition numbered out of 3,000 reissue that came out this month, middle of April, last month, middle of April. Symphonic Live by Yes. I went to this performance. I saw this concert. I love this concert. I love this performance. This is one of the best live performances out there. Absolutely stellar music. And once again, Optimal Media have given an absolute quality pressing of this album. Gorgeously pressed this album on Optimal Media. Beautifully pressed, reasonably priced. And it too came with a CD version of the album. Fantastic. Thank you for giving me a CD version of that. I didn't know it. I didn't read the, the fine print. So I didn't even know there was a CD in this when I had pre-ordered it. So it's always a nice surprise when you find a CD inside. And last up on my show here, I think my favorite album of all of this that I've gotten this year, and this could be my favorite album by this artist ever. And the artist is Neil Young and Crazy Horse. And people that know me know I'm a big fan of Neil Young and Crazy Horse. I'm not a big fan of Neil Young's solo work so much. I do like The Odd Thing. But I'm a big fan of Neil Young and Crazy Horse's work. And people that also know me from streams and me talking in other streams will know that Ragged Glory by Neil Young is my favorite Neil Young album of all time. Ragged Glory by Neil Young and Crazy Horse is my favorite Neil Young album of all time. Quickly followed by Live Rust, which was the live double LP that supported the Rust Never Sleeps album. So Live Rust and Ragged Glory are my two favorite Neil Young albums. Ragged Glory, absolutely, no question, number one. And this is Neil Young and Crazy Horse, way down in the Rust bucket. And this is the limited edition box set. I had to have it. And I think this is now my new favorite Neil Young album ever, because I've been looking for Ragged Glory on vinyl for years, and copies of Ragged Glory go for well over $100 for OG copies of Ragged Glory. They're out of my price range for a single OG record. They're $100, $200, $150, $200. And so I've been hoping that Neil Young would remaster and reissue Ragged Glory. It hasn't happened yet, but this is the next best thing, because pretty much most of the Ragged Glory album is performed on this live album, because this is a live album. This is a 4 LP live album 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours of music by Neil Young and Crazy Horse. Beautifully recorded. It's almost studio quality. It's probably the best sounding live album I've ever owned in my life. Seriously, probably the best sounding live album I have ever owned. And most of Ragged Glory is on here, so I'm in heaven. And a lot of songs from that live Rust that are, you know, like a Hurricane are on here. You know, you've got Country Home, Surfer Joe and Mow the Sleaze, Love to Burn, Days That Used to Be, Bite the Bullet, Cinnamon Girl, Farmer John, Over and Over, Danger Bird, Don't Cry No Tears, Sedan Delivery, Roll Another Number, T-Bone. First time I ever heard T-Bone performed live. Homegrown, Mansion on the Hill, Like a Hurricane, my all-time favorite Neil Young song, Like a Hurricane, Love to Burn, and Cortez the Killer. So you can see there's lots of tracks here from the live Rust Never Sleeps era. Lots of songs from Ragged Glory, so it's put me in heaven. And then a couple things from my other favorite album of all time, you know, as of course everybody knows is Nowhere with Cinnamon Girl and so on and so forth. So Neil Young, way down in the Rust bucket, and this is the deluxe box set, which came with 4 separate shrink-wrapped LPs. I can get them out. 4 separate shrink-wrapped LPs. And then last but not least inside is the music CD. Music CD version once again, and a DVD of the actual concert, a video film DVD of the actual concert, which I haven't had a chance to watch yet. So definitely, I think one of my favorite releases, period, this year, studio or remaster reissue. I put this in my top 5 albums, period, I bought in the entire year for sure. This could very well be my favorite Neil Young album of all time. And that's it. That's all. That's everything. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. And as always, I welcome comments down below. Leave your comments. Let me know what you thought of these releases and the other things I talked about in the video. Comments welcome down below. And if you're a subscriber and have not got your notification bell on, turn that notification bell on so you don't miss any of my videos. And last but not least, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is @AGK_lifetime of vinyl, where I try to post my spin of the day every day. That's it. That's all. I hope you enjoyed my video. I'll see you guys all real soon in my next video. And as I always say, rock and roll.